Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rose, and welcome to episode 307 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. The show's on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe in your favorite and leave a review. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations, and social media profiles, which you can follow at Xboxin10. To start, let's talk game releases. The big games out last week were Blueprints and the full release of South of Midnight. The games coming out this week include Chains of Freedom, Crystal Ball of Firmament, Finding Frankie, Hot Rod Mayhem, Lush Foil Photograph Sim, Lab Rat, Monument Valley 2, Bear Night Honey Quest, Drug Dealer Simulator, Farmer's Life, Moving Horses, Sun Shower, Vinebound Tangled Together, Biz Builder Deluxe, Cafe Master Story, Crime Scene Cleaner, iRobot, Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, Layla, Phantom Breaker, Battlegrounds Ultimate, Tempopo, Cute Puppy Academy, Space Smash, and Snow Squall. Now into last week's biggest news stories, and we have 4 to cover this week. Number 1, Marathon release date revealed in first gameplay trailer. Jordan Midler at Video Games Chronicle writes, Bungie has revealed the first gameplay and more details about Marathon, including the game's release date. The game is described as a team-based extraction shooter. Players play as a mercenary who has given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats. Players form a crew of 3 to battle against up to 18 other players in each zone. The game will be released on September 23rd, 2025. Quote, from the creators of Halo and Destiny comes Marathon, a team-based extraction shooter. Choose your runner and scavenge the lost colony of Tau Ceti. 4 for fortune, powers, and answers to Tau Ceti's secrets, end quote, reads a description for the game. Players fight over loot, which they then must extract successfully with to collect. If a team dies, their loot can be collected by other players. Bungie has also confirmed that it will allow players to play the game without the need of a full squad. However, this will be sustainably more challenging. The game's closed alpha test starts April 23rd. Any players interested in testing Marathon ahead of its September release can sign up on the Marathon Discord. Marathon is set to release for PS5, Series X and S, and PC. The game won't require players on other platforms to sign up for a PlayStation Network account, Bungie has confirmed. Bungie and Sony are reportedly considering a $40 price tag for Marathon. Former Valorant game director Joe Ziegler announced in March 2024 that he had taken over as Marathon game director, amidst reports that the former game director Christopher Barrett had left the company. So, we have finally seen what this game is, and it seems like there are mixed reactions online, surprise and shocker. I think there was some opportunity to have a better reveal of this game to really dive deeper into the system, certainly a lot less talking at the on-front, and while the story trailer, which was hyped up as the big thing at the end, had a great tone, I loved kind of the horror vibes, I didn't learn anything about the story of this game. So it seems like there was some opportunity there. I don't know, maybe it's just some bias, but I certainly love what I saw from the gameplay and gunplay of Marathon, and in that regard, in Bungie, I trust. This will be the first extraction shooter I have really ever played, so I am excited by that idea, and do like that they have already announced full cross-play and full cross-save. So they've made all the decisions there right. How much is this game going to cost? Is it going to be free to play? I really could see them charging full price for this game. Sony certainly has a lot of money to make up in that purchase of Bungie that they've made. However, I remain excited. I applied to get into the alpha, so hoping I can get in and try it for myself sometime soon. Number 2, Xbox Game Showcase followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct airs June 8th. Joe Scrubbles at Xbox Wire writes, make some space on your calendar. The Xbox Game Showcase 2025 will be live streamed on Sunday, June 8th. Starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time. Following in the footsteps of the 2023 Starfield Direct and 2024 Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, this year we will again have a double feature with the Xbox Game Showcase immediately followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct. It all begins with our annual Xbox Game Showcase, bringing you a look at upcoming titles from across our first-party studios, in addition to incredible new titles from our third-party partners across the globe. This year, the show will be digital only. Our live stream will bring you everything you'll need to know about what's next for Xbox, no matter where in the world you're watching. Immediately following Showcase, the Outer Worlds 2 Direct will bring you inside the walls of Obsidian Entertainment, revealing new gameplay details and developer insights straight from the people making the sequel to the award-winning first-person sci-fi RPG. The double feature broadcast also kicks off a week worth of Xbox coverage here on Xbox Wire, the official Xbox podcast, and the Xbox YouTube channel, featuring updates, exclusive extra details, and deep dives on many of the games you'll see in the show. Alas, we have a date and time for the big annual Xbox Super Bowl every year. I cannot wait. These game showcases are my favorite. Long live the days of the full weekend of E3. Get your garbage food, get your bad snacks, get some booze, sit back, and enjoy. Number 3. 3 classic Activision games listed for Xbox Game Pass by Microsoft. Fraser Gilbert at Pure Xbox writes, "We've talked quite a bit recently about how a lot of Activision games still haven't arrived on Xbox Game Pass yet, particularly when it comes to the Call of Duty series. But we might be getting 3 more in the near future. This is according to the Microsoft Store on PC, which has added included with Game Pass banners to Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Of course, it's not uncommon for Microsoft and Xbox to make mistakes with stuff like this, so don't be surprised if the banners get swiftly removed today, and nothing actually happens for a while in regards to these titles. That said, they've got to arrive at some point, and we know Microsoft has been doing work in the background to prepare all the Call of Duty games for Xbox Game Pass. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 seems an inevitability, with 3 and 4 on the way very soon, and Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, has been rumored for Game Pass recently as well. It's surely not a question on if at this point, just when these Activision games will arrive on Xbox Game Pass. If we're starting to see these early, maybe this is getting prepped for a big reveal at the Xbox Game Showcase, which we certainly thought last year since they closed the deal with Activision that we were going to get a plethora of Activision games coming to the service. I personally am really excited for all the Call of Duty games to get into Game Pass, for the couple of nights of fun of my friends and I jumping back to these old games, and it just seems like such an easy win. However, they are going to have to do some work on these games to ensure that the multiplayer lobbies, which a lot of them currently are not filled with hackers and cheaters. Players beware. And number 4, Toys for Bob would love to work on a new Banjo-Kazooie. Jordan Midler at Video Games Chronicle writes, "Toys for Bob has said it would love to work on a new Banjo-Kazooie game. In an interview with content creator Canadian Guy A, Toys for Bob studio head Paul Yan was asked which developers or IP would the studio love to work on. Quote, there's so many, and that's one of the exciting possibilities of being independent, end quote, said Yan. Quote, one company we'd like to work with on is one we're already working with, Team Xbox. They've been a great partner, and they also have a very interesting roster of characters that Toys for Bob could have a lot of fun with. The Honey Bear is the first one that comes to mind. I think we can all agree Banjo's been hibernating long enough, right? End quote. The Rare-owned platformer hasn't seen an installment since Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which was first released for Xbox 360 15 years ago. However, the classic franchise has been more prominent in recent years. Last year, the first game in the series was added to Nintendo Switch Online, and Banjo and Kazooie were added as playable characters to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In 2020, Spencer said that any revivals of classic Rare franchises were up to Rare itself. However, speaking to VGC this summer as part of an extended interview to mark Banjo-Kazooie's 25th anniversary, a group of original Rare team members said they weren't expecting a new game anytime soon. Despite a $3 million Kickstarter and over 1 million copies sold for their spiritual successor, Playtonic Games Yooka-Laylee, composer Grant Kirkhope questioned whether the audience was truly there for a new game. Toys for Bob was founded in 1989 and developed such games as Star Control, Pandemonium, and The Unholy War before it was acquired by Activision in 2005. In recent years, the California studio has assisted with development on the Call of Duty series, but it's best known on the studio behind the Skylander series, as well as 2020's Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and 2018's Spyro Reignited trilogy. And it's for those last 2 titles why people have been pegging Toys for Bob for a long time now as being the next people to work for a Banjo-Kazooie game, as people seemingly gave up on the fact that they want Double Fine to make the next Banjo-Kazooie game. I personally don't have any nostalgia for this series, but it is one of those cult classics, and how is Microsoft not trying to reinvigorate this series, as they do have quite a bit of an opening for a family-friendly series. Yes, they have Minecraft, but still. As always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and well, I just mentioned Minecraft. And clearly you all have seen, but the Minecraft movie is killing. Just how much is it killing? Credit to Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle. The Minecraft movie has surpassed expectations with an opening weekend of $157 million in the US, the best ever for a video game adaptation. It did beat Nintendo and Illumination's Super Mario Bros. Movie, and that to me is truly shocking. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the clips, Chicken Jockey, which I learned what that was this week, them throwing popcorn, bringing actual chickens into the theaters, and just absolutely going crazy. It's got the virality, it has the moment in time, and they have already hinted at working on a sequel to go make even more money. So good on you, Xbox, just not for me, but I get it. Make that money. Thank you all for listening to the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast service, share with your friends, leave a review, and follow on all social media at Xbox in 10. This past week, I have been playing South of Midnight. I'm about 45% through. I think I just finished Chapter 6, and there are 14 chapters in the game. And I really do have mixed feelings on this. And it's so interesting because this really feels like another Hellblade 2 moment. Hellblade 2, I really enjoyed. However, to me, it was an awesome experience almost more than it was an awesome game. And I'm kind of feeling that with South of Midnight. Like, I love the vibe, the art style, the sound, the music. But just like Hellblade, they really kind of dropped the ball with the gameplay. Like, I feel like I've unlocked all the abilities that I'm going to get for the rest of the game. The upgrades aren't that satisfying. And the combat scenarios are just like Hellblade with these little arenas with a couple of boss battles sprinkled throughout. I don't understand why we're missing the point of gameplay in these games. Still really enjoying it. I don't think it's a bad game by any means, but it just is a little disappointing in that capacity, and it seems like we just did this. I don't know. We'll see how I finish it, but shout out to Hazel. She is a cool character, and shout out to everyone that made this game very unique and special. I will say that. Well, my name is Brandon Rosa. You can follow me on Xbox at Rosa93. Hope you have a great week. Stay safe and keep on gaming.